Hello, fellow. Welcome to today's video. We are starting my variety content. We're gonna start with a DIY. On Pinterest, I've been seeing people dupe the jack-o'-lantern pumpkins from Crate and Barrel, so I thought, why not give it a shot? Because I have a pumpkin, and he's got a boo-boo, so we're gonna try to zhuzh him up. Without further ado, let's get it. Now, I personally love a good overgrown look. I like the look, very hobbity. I'm gonna do the terracotta look, at least do my best because I'm gonna wing it. And then I'm going to glue and add on different moss, and I got fake ferns and stuff. So we have lots of supplies to do this. Once again, here's our pumpkin in question. So the first thing we have to do is remove the light bulb. So there we go. Let's go to sanding. And we're outside now. I'm sorry for the sound. All right, so we're gonna start out by sanding, and I got this multi-purpose pack that's gonna be, it says it's 220 grit, 120 grit, and 80 grit. So we'll start big, get some paint off, and then we'll do a little bit finer just to smooth it out, and then move on to painting. Okay, so I ended up only using the 120 grit sandpaper, and I didn't do the others because it felt roughed up enough. I just kind of went all over it in different directions just to make sure that it was scuffed. I wasn't trying to remove paint or anything, just having enough of a texture on it that it's easy to go ahead and apply the new paint. Well, here's Pumpkin Guy. He is definitely scratched up now. I didn't take much paint off, like a lot of orange came off, but I wasn't trying to get it down to whatever like the bare plastic color would be. So now I'm gonna mix together paint and baking soda. I don't know how much to do of each. I saw this so long ago that you could do that to make paint more of like a stone texture. So we're gonna try that and hope it works. And probably end up doing 2 coats on the whole thing. The color I ended up picking out is called Cool Clay. It's a Glidden color from Home Depot. They were out of the sample sizes though in flat in the Glidden paint, so they color matched it into the Bear Dynasty matte sample. And it looks like exactly the same as the paint swatch, so I'm super pleased with it and definitely recommend it. I picked out this color based on the product picture on Pottery Barn's website, and so it's probably not exactly the same, but it definitely looks very similar in photos. I ended up just mixing the baking soda into the paint quite a few times. I don't have a specific measurement, but basically I just kept going until it thickened up and you could see like some grit in it, and then I called it good. So you can always do like grab a piece of paper and do like a sample swatch or anything if you're not sure if it's going to be gritty enough, but I found this method worked just fine. Okay, it's the next morning and you don't have to wait overnight or anything. Just make sure that both coats are dry. I just started this late yesterday, so here we are. I was super meticulous with the brush strokes, which I think helped it turn out looking so legit. Just like make sure that you follow the grooves and do like big strokes and just be careful, and then I think it'll look better than haphazardly painting on the paint. Yeah, so hopefully I don't ruin that with this next step. In the product pictures on Pottery Barn's website, it looks like there's like white stuff on the outside kind of in these grooves. So I'm gonna opt for cornstarch. I hope it works. I'm sure you can use other white powder like maybe baking powder or chalk or something, but I have this on hand, so I'm gonna use this. I am winging this, so hopefully it goes good. I'm just gonna do a little bit at a time and see how it goes. If it looks good, then awesome. If it's not looking good, then we'll just move on to the mossifying. So I ended up kind of doing a pinch method. I just got some of the cornstarch on my finger and rubbed it into the texture of the paint in those grooves. And this worked pretty good for the most part. If there was any extra, I just brushed it easily away with a paintbrush. It definitely looks good. I hope it stays on fine. I don't know how it'll do in storage after the holiday, but so far so good. Okay, now it's time to make it overgrown and hobbity. So we're using 2 different kinds of ferns and 2 different kinds of moss, and we're gonna see what we can do. Hopefully it turns out good, and again, hopefully it doesn't ruin it. You can definitely just leave it as is and keep it looking like the pottery, but I wanted to make it more me and add all the greenery. So it was super easy to put all of this on. I just used hot glue, and you can put it wherever you want. I didn't have any specific way I did it. I just put a big glob of glue on whatever I was doing and stuck it in place. It holds really good, and I think it turns out super nice. Make sure if you want it to look more natural to add variation to it. So mix your colors of moss, your different kinds of moss. That all helps a ton to just help it look a little more natural. If anyone's curious, this is an upcycle. We've had these jack-o'-lanterns for a couple of years now. Originally when we got it, they were $30 from Target, and then the paint was a couple dollars, and we got one 2.5-inch brush. Other than that, we went to Joann's to get the moss and the ferns, and the ferns were on sale. If you're buying everything from scratch, including the pumpkin for this project, you're probably around the $50 or $60 mark. This is a huge jack-o'-lantern, and the small ones on Pottery Barn's website go for $50. So you're definitely getting way more bang for your buck. You could also maybe plaster the outside of your pumpkin if you do want more of a handmade look, but this comes pretty close. And that's the finished product, guys. I'm super thrilled. I think it turned out fantastic. I think it's important to trust the process whenever you're working on a creative project, because you could think maybe it's not going to work and then it pulls through. I think it's perfect. It came out exactly how I wanted it. So yeah, no complaints. I'm super thrilled. Also, if you guys try it, please let me know down in the comments below, because I would love to know. If you enjoyed today's video, please consider subscribing. I do all sorts of nonsense, and that includes gaming, DIYs, all sorts of stuff. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.